Pensado's Place is brought to you by Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Avid, Isotope, Recording Connection, Studio 202, The Slate Companies, and Audio Technica.
Our guest will demonstrate how a hybrid approach to producing will get you great results. Dave's got a brand new ITL for you. Capital Jam is locked, loaded, and filled up. Phew, it's gonna be an absolute blast. Fire up the jets. You're at the place. It's Pensado's Place.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. You know, a lot of you guys like that little hey I do. That was probably the most anemic one I've ever done. Not quite sure why. I think it's because I'm giddy.
And giddy because we're about to, well, as they're watching this, we're probably on the point, we're probably there.
That's true.
Yeah. It's good stuff coming up. Should we get to it?
Take it, my friend.
Gang, always good to be back with you for our weekly hang. How are you? I hope everything is well. We hope everything is well, and we trust it. As you watch this, as we just alluded to, we're likely already in DC, and we hope we get a chance to meet some of you guys. Keep subscribing and liking if you would. It is our gin and our juice, as Dave alluded to. Also, keep supporting our partners, and they're actually really your partners. You know them. Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Audio Technica, Isotope, Avid, Recording Connection, and Studio 202 DC. For the Pensado Capital Jam, a couple of others have really stepped up. Let's talk about those guys real quickly. G-Tech, amazing. Berkeley Online stepped up with scholarships for folks. PreSonus is just like our new best friend. What they're doing for our theater, what they're doing for you guys, for Cap Jam and on, incredible. Ultimate Ears, great. And Hal Leonard, our publisher, they're bringing the goodness, and we're gonna bring that goodness to you. It is amazing. Profound thanks from Dave and I to you all.
Absolutely.
You never fail us, and you never fail our awesome, awesome community. As we alluded to earlier, Pensado Capital Jam is locked and loaded. We have a full house. If you are already registered, you are good. If not, unfortunately, the window has closed. Now, if you bum rush it and we do something dramatic to make press, I'll be supportive, but ultimately,
bring a whistle.
So, and by the way, if you miss this one, we have more coming down the pike. Best believe that. We will not let you down. For all those coming, get there early. Doors open at 11. Killer panel, killer gifts, killer info, and a chance for you to hang and really grow your game. You know, you alluded to earlier that you're giddy. The whole, I've never seen our team this excited. Have you?
No, you know, we've done a few live events and some spectacular ones, but for some reason, just this, like Cole today walked in and said, man, that panel is, oh no, it was Brian. No, that panel is amazing. Like, that's an all-star panel.
It is an all-star panel. We love it.
Just hanging out. Plus DC, you know, nation's capital, home of go-go.
Yeah, oh yeah. And the East
Chuck
Coast.
Brown.
And I think the notion of finally seeing our East Coast friends. So, to say the least, we're really excited. So let's get on with the show, because I got to go pack. DP, what's this week's ITL?
Oh, I'm showing you a quick way in Pro Tools, but it'll work on any DAW on how to do a reverse echo, old school tape style, where you flip the reel upside down, how to do it in DAW.
I remember watching you do that back in the day.
Yeah.
Let's roll it.
Back in the day, we used to like to get some reverse sound, so we'd have like a boom. Well, in order to do that with tape, you'd write track 1 through 24 on a sheet of paper, and then right next to those numbers, you'd start with track 24 and go down to 1, and then so you'd have to coordinate. So track, if the sound you wanted to reverse was recorded on track 2, when you flip the tape over, it would now be track 23. And then you had to use that same chart to know where to record what you'd just done. So in Pro Tools, it's a little bit different. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. Here's my original sound. Like here's a snare. So let's say we want a reverse version of that. Well, what I do, there's probably some better ways. In fact, Cole has a better way, but we're going to try my way today because it's more complex and convoluted and just, I don't know why I like it. So we're going to take this little piece of the sound. We're gonna make a copy, and then I took and reversed that copy. So I just highlighted it, rendered, and reversed it. Now, every DAW is a little bit different. Now, while I had it reversed, I recorded effects on this little bad boy. So check this out. Now that I've got it reversed, I put a little echo on it and a little reverb on it. Okay, so now I recorded that onto this track, and then I reversed it again back, and then I put it in time. So now it's going to coordinate with this track here. So let's see what we've got. And you can do quicker delays and tighter patterns. You can do it on guitar parts, snare parts, vocal parts, and you've got total control. So the amount of delays and reverb that you have going into the original sound, which is up here, is determined by everything you do here. So I've got a lot of feedback, and then I've got about a little bit of reverb. Now the feedback up here. We could have done, what is that, an eighth note? I can't tell. So we could have done a quarter note. We could have done, so quarter notes instead of dot, 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 dot would be dot, dot, dot. But you could do both and then blend them, record two different ones, dot, 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 like that. Anyway, it's an effect that you can do so easily now with a lot of plugins from, like, say, maybe some of the BT plugins for Isotope. You can do a lot of things automatic, but just one way. Adios. Hey guys, as promised, here's RoccStar, my buddy, Rock.
What's up,
man?
Big?
Thanks for coming by, man.
You the man.
Anything
for you.
Thanks so much. I don't know if you guys know this, but Rock and I, we share a facility. We both have rooms here at Legends, and I've gotten to know him pretty well, and I can't wait for you guys to get to know him a little better. Cool cat. Hey, man. So, like, one of the things I like about your when you do lyrics, because you do everything on the planet. We're going to discuss all that. But in particular, when I hear your songs, the lyrics feel to me like conversational, almost like we're talking.
Right.
How do you do that? Is that just who you are and how you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as a writer, you really shouldn't even be writing anything if you're not having a conversation, because like any great song is really just a story, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Michael or the Police or whoever, it doesn't matter, it's a story. So like if you're not telling a story and you're just speaking random facts or whatever, it's kind of not. So I like make sure I'm having a conversational piece like every record. Try to make sure it's a real record, you know what I'm saying?
On Fine China, that second verse, that's one of my favorite things you've ever written.
Good looking.
How did that come about? Is that one of the things with you and Chris?
Yeah, it was kind of just like, it was kind of just, it was so organic. Like if you were there, you'd be like, dang, how organic can this get? It was just kind of like something that was in it. It was like a conversational piece with more of the audience. And yeah, Fine China, that turned into a moment. And yeah, it was pretty much just having a conversation, and the whole song was a conversation. The second verse you saying, or the first verse, or which?
I like the second verse.
Okay.
The first verse is cool.
I gotta go back. That joint, I gotta go back to that exact verse. Like, how do we drop that joint? Yeah. Baby, there's a dude for. I gotta go back to it. I know it was all organic though, regardless of that.
One of the responsibilities of a good producer is recognizing those moments and incorporating those moments in something for that particular artist. Like when you're writing for yourself, you would have a different approach. But when you're writing for Chris or Fergie or J-Lo, then you look for those moments, or is that how you? Is that part of your technique?
I want to kind of get the point across from the artist, because it's kind of like you're coming in representing the artist. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna come in and tell their story, you have to really know their story and really be able to get that across brilliantly. You know what I'm saying? As brilliant as you can. And that's kind of how dope the song becomes, how brilliant you can make it. But like, I was Chris is my boy, like J-Lo, like we chill, like the whole situation, I had to sit there and spend time with whoever it is, kind of, and like, even as a fan, or even as somebody who doesn't have the opportunity to spend time with the artist, you still have to really dig into where you would at least think that their life is. I mean, the media kind of puts their life all in the front, so that alone is enough to be like, okay, this is kind of where they're at, and let me try and shape something that would, one, pertain to their emotion, and one, come across to the audience as not something they're just singing, but something that they're living. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I was doing with that, or what I always do.
You got, if memory serves me correctly, you had 6 songs on that album that you contributed to, right?
Yeah, 6 songs.
That's a
talking
lot.
about X?
Yeah.
Or I did 6 of them. Me and Diplo did the X one. And then me and Danger did the Stereotypes.
Oh, Danger's a buddy.
Yeah,
He's cool, isn't he?
Stereotypes, and then I did the Fine China, and then it was, there's so many records on there. Stereotypes and Autumn Leaves. And,
that's a great track.
And good looking, yeah. But yeah, I was running through work, man, because it was like we was in it and we were just capturing emotion, and it was about how the best emotion, you know what I mean? How to articulate the best emotion, and that's kind of what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know, sometimes it's not only good to know how to do something great, but when something great gets done, and when you're done and it's great.
Right.
The hardest thing for me as a mixer is knowing when I'm done and knowing if it's good.
Right.
And then my ego kicks in. Of course it's good. I did it, right?
Yeah, you know what? Your confidence kind of serves a big point in like the way it's delivered, because if you're not believing that it's amazing, then who else is gonna believe it's amazing? It's your work.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
If Michael Jordan says, I'm the greatest basketball player ever, you go, yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah.
Now, if I say that, that's arrogance.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, what's the saying? Walk the walk, talk the talk. You know, you got to do that. Hey, man, on the 50 Shades of Grey, the song you did on that was called Rude, I believe.
Yeah.
What an incredible song.
Appreciate
How did that come about? You were like buying some S&M gear at the local porn shop, and they ran into you?
No, man, 50 Shades is just, that's a big movie, and that actually came about because I was sitting there like going through some of the scenes scoring wise with Dana, the head of the whole music over there, and I was just like, wow, like, and she was like, you know, looking at which scenes would be crazy for what, and and we were just watching, and I'm like, wow, this is a movie. Let me score something to this right here, and it was that club scene in there, and I just kind of sat there and scored it. You know what I'm saying? Just scored it and put the emotion. I'm real good with like attaching emotion to an audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like getting the point across.
Your production style has a visual element to it, so it seems like you would work good for the film world too.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, Lord willing, definitely. I mean, the film world is definitely something that I'm really jumping into heavy right now, because it's where you can get all your emotions. Musically, sometimes you got to pull back a little bit because the drum might be a little bit too powerful. You might be feeling like the drum, you know what I mean? Like you need to triple up compressors on it. Yeah, but they might just need, you know what I'm saying? They might just not need all that. So, but with film and all that, you can just make a movie to the movie. And that's kind of what I like to do with music too. But
well,
film
on your solo project, the song you did, Confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have any restrictions there. It turned out pretty amazing. Were you involved with the video also?
Yeah, definitely. Like breaking down kind of. I just wanted it to be raw, kind of just me and like, you know what I'm saying? Just me and just showing exactly what confidence is, because confidence is like everything, you know, especially in this music industry, man. Like without confidence, I mean, I've just seen people who should have just skyrocketed, just dropped, because everybody around you is kind of built to hold you down. You know what I'm saying? I always think like, shoot, I mean, we're born naked. You know what I'm saying? So anything else beyond that, that's why we go to sleep with not that many clothes on, because anything beyond like the bare minimums is kind of, you're uncomfortable and it's kind of noted as a burden. So like everybody around you kind of is going to be on a, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's really going to be trying to help you out. You got to help yourself out. And without confidence, I don't really know how that's possible.
Yeah, in my world, at 3 a.m, if somebody says, you like that snare sound, Dave? I'm like, of course, I did it. What?
Right.
Well, I mean, like, what did I do? Make a snare sound that you're going to automatically hate just to test you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be arrogant.
Right.
It's just like you.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do something and I'm happy with it, that means I really like it.
That means I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you really have to explain to somebody, I love this, whether, I mean, it's also like a fine line because like sometimes confidence, if you don't have what it is that backs it up, and that's kind of, that's where kind of accolades come in to like certify your confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah, of course.
because a lot of people are confident, and then there's no.
I live for compliments. That ain't no.
You know what I'm.
That ain't no secret.
I know.
But also too, you've got the confidence to change your mind and to know when it doesn't sound good, and get rid of it in a heartbeat.
Oh my goodness, I'm my worst critic. At the end of the day, it's like people think that like, you know, somebody who is sure of themselves is not open to criticism. But it's like all great people, doesn't matter how much money you have, whatever it is, when somebody tells you productive criticism, constructive criticism, you're like, okay, cool. All right, let me see how I could switch this up, and I'll at least try it. Now, if it doesn't work when I try it, I'd like you to not give me any more suggestions. But besides that, you know what I'm saying? Besides that, it's like, because they could mess up your creative flow, but I'm going to be open, because if you're in my immediate environment while I'm even creating, I'm only going to surround myself around people whose opinions I even care about. If you tell me, listen, man, that mix is that, I'm like, what? Okay. I'm not even going to think about it, because that's what you do.
Well,
you know
since you brought that up, I heard something coming up through the floor the other day. No, I'm just messing with you.
Came through the walls, right? That's funny.
Hey, man, I'm fascinated with the concept of influences.
Right.
And for me, I have influences in my line of work, and the hardest thing I have to do is not copy them, but be influenced by the things that made me feel something. What would an influence be that would surprise our audience that you have? Because I hear in your music, not the traditional, a little MJ, of course, but beyond that, you kind of go a little non-traditional. Can you break that down for me?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll get to the MJ. Well, I'll start off with the MJ. The reason they kind of hear that is because, I mean, I was kind of on a different scale. I dated
You dated
Jackson.
Michael?
No, his niece for...
Scoop.
Yeah, that is hilarious. I dated his niece for like 4 years, so I was around the family a lot. It's an amazing family, like super talented family.
Yeah.
And it kind of rubbed off a little bit, kind of being inside, because it's not really like a sound. It's more like a lifestyle that they live. It's more like it's like when you're in it, it's kind of hard to, and it's like I was fresh off that. You know what I'm saying? When I was doing kind of that fine China thing, but it's not even just that. It's more like just in general. I mean, you have to have like an organic. You can't just be like duplicating anything. You have to take a piece of something and then create your own. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I was just gonna take somebody's and copy it and that's not even possible. Like that person's that person, that person's that person. It's just gonna, I'm not into knockoffs. Now taking something from a great is gonna be inevitable if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you're gonna be great in any way, shape, or form, because they've paved the way for us. There's nowhere around.
What's an influence that they might be surprised at?
John Mayer, Imogen Heap.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, Imogen Heap's a monster. The Police. Let me see. Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, anybody whose storytelling is crazy.
Darius
Slick Rick.
Darius I love Slick Rick. Darius
storytelling swag is ridiculous.
Darius is doing country music now.
Yeah, he kind of was doing. You and me, we come from different. That was kind of country. I
think he did The More I Love Women, The More I Love My Truck. Did he do that?
Oh, God, I didn't. I
made that up.
I was about to say what? I didn't hear that one yet.
Okay, there goes half our audience. And going back to Michael, one of the things that I noticed that I'm guessing you were influenced by Michael is the way you approach groove. Like Michael, I've mixed a few Michael things, and people don't know, but he's snapping and stomping his feet, but he does it so perfectly that it's behind the beat, so you can't hear it.
Yep.
You solo the vocal, like, where does snaps come from?
Right.
But when inside the track, he's right on the snare, right on, and I noticed that in your productions, your kicks and snares are always inventive, but you use the little extra things to define the groove and make me feel something.
Yeah, I'll always add a certain type of delay. I'll always add things that are unorthodox. Like I'll make a whole beat out of voices. I mean, honestly, it's whatever feels. If you see me moving, you're gonna be like, this dude's an alien, because to me, the rhythm and the groove is more important than even the playing, like the technical side of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's more about like, dang, how does this feel? If it feels crazy, there might be just a hit and a snap that feels crazy, and I can write the whole record off of that because it feels that crazy. Or just one synth, or just one whatever it is. But like, yeah, I'm all about that pocket. You have to find that rhythm, and like, I'm big into like pockets, man. You gotta just know how to really hit it and really catch it's all about, man, like one thing out of pocket messes up the whole swag, messes up the whole groove. I'm like all about pocket.
Just like back home, pocket means something a little different than out here. When you say pocket, you mean just the feel of the song?
Okay, so if the beat is in a certain rhythm, you know what I'm saying? If the beat is stomping, I'm telling the pocket is how you go around it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's what you're fitting inside of it perfectly. Like how it just sits inside there without bothering your rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Other things that's going on around it.
Man, I just got a million ideas. Thanks.
Yeah.
When you compose a song, do you tend to do the lyrics first, or the music first, or both, or just it all just kind of hits you in an organic way?
I mean, there's been times where I've wrote, many songs with no anything, and then just laid it down to a click track and then built around it. And I mean, that's the blessing of being able to be a writer and a singer. A writer, a singer, and a producer, because...
And an engineer.
Yeah, and an engineer, because, I mean, honestly, this day and age, you gotta just be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? But like, if it's kind of like if you're not able to do it, then then you're gonna be waiting on somebody else, and I'm not into waiting on anybody for anything. You know what I'm saying? But back to the original question. Because I went over there and now I'm over there.
That's okay, I'm following you.
But what did you say originally, so we could jump back into that?
Oh, the groove thing?
Yeah, right. Was it the groove?
Man, I don't know.
We forgot. We totally forgot what it was. But what I was saying was that whole I kind of want to expand on that, because this is important for people to understand.
Man, run with it.
You really have to be able to do what you need to do yourself. Like, waiting on people to do things is something in this music industry that you shouldn't it's just not something that you should that you should ever find productive, or you're gonna ever find this productive, because it's like my whole life, like nobody's gonna hand you anything.
No.
And there are people that do get things handed to them, but at the same time, you're still missing that. Just like, you know what I'm saying? That just wrapped you up from being able to do other things because you didn't even work to get it. So now you don't really have the real, like, you know what I'm saying, the real science to even get back to how that is. So if that falls, you don't know how to build it again. So like, you really have to really learn, like, dude, engineer it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pro Tools isn't that hard. Like, really sit there and, okay, there's a few keys and this and this. Learn, it's really not that drastic. Logic, Pro Tools, I mean, do it to the point to where you can get the point across, and then somebody can take it to the next level at least. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's ever said that on the show, but that's so obviously important, isn't it?
So
if you've got an idea and can't get it down other than just a little iPhone dictator machine, you're in trouble.
I mean, that's in life in general. If you have a concept, if you have anything and don't really, because once you learn how to even apply that to that, you learn how to apply it to other things. You just got to get up and really put the pieces of the puzzle together. And it's like, if you got a concept and it's like you don't have the pieces, then that concept's just a concept. You know what I'm saying? So taking it a step further is really getting up and saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to put this together with this. I'm gonna go meet this person. I'm gonna find out how to do this. I'm gonna figure out how to do this, and I'm gonna put this package together. And then I'm gonna come to somebody who's already done this package, and they're gonna tell me is my package presentable or not. And then I'm gonna make the fine tweaks and get to where I need to get to. It's like it's a simple breakdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the only things I took from school was little cluster bubbles. And one of the only things is
What's a cluster bubble?
Okay, so like this is what it is. It's the goal up here. You write it in there. You know what I'm saying? You draw it down and you figure out all the way down into where you're at. And then you basically just build there. You got everything in front of you. Why wouldn't you just go there? Okay, cool. Get there, until you get to the actual.
I could have been successful if I had a cluster bubble.
Oh my goodness! Listen. First of all, you're the epitome of.
I begged for that compliment a little too hard, didn't I, BP?
You're the epitome. Come on, man. You're Dave.
Hey, man.
You do this.
We hang out a lot because we work at the same place, I've really been impressed by the fact that not only are you a creative person and know how to use your creativity to create things that people want to own, but you also are a student of the business. You know how to build a business. You know the players. You know how to get what you want and maneuver inside a world that a lot of people don't understand, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the business is so important. I mean, the business.
How do you learn that? How's a young kid learn that? Just reading Billboard?
No. I mean, to be honest, like, I was kind of blessed, and I hate because people, like, use this as a cop-out sometimes. I was blessed enough to grow up with a dad that was, like, Jerry Greenberg's partner who ran MJJ, and, you know, Atlantic, Jerry from forever. So, like, I kind of saw the treacherous and the beastliness and the whole get down, like, firsthand, where my dad was hustling and it was a nonstop thing, and I kind of knew, like, a little bit, but, like, that is what it is. You have to take, like, I've learned so much stuff just from every element of hustle and kind of put it into business, because at 25 to have a label deal, you know, at Atlantic, to have artists signed here, or artists on Epic LA to cut, you know what I'm saying? Like, and have a team that's like really a team, you know what I'm saying? Between like Sonnenberg and Mark Pitts and everybody, like having you have to really be able to maneuver and really just break it down, and it comes back down to that cluster bubble. I'm like, okay, where am I?
The cluster bubble.
You know,
I want a cluster bubble. Can I borrow your cluster bubble?
Hey, man, listen, we can sit down and write it down, but you are the cluster bubble. It's like Pensado.
You sure this ain't some Sesame Street shit?
Top,
come on, man.
I promise you, in every school, they teach it. Listen, Pensado in the top, cluster bubble. And then the engineers are like, how do I get there? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how it works.
Ooh,
and it's kind of like, you like that?
I like that.
You even make sense now?
I like that.
Nah, but like.
The top bubble.
Yeah, but like the business aspect is like, you really have to understand how to, you know, take risk here, because you can burn bridges. You got to know when to take that risk and not care about that bridge being burned. You got to know when to not take that risk and care about that bridge not being burned. You got to know when to really be like moving, like, you know what I'm saying, on a different scale, and really sit there and be like, okay, you know, I'm gonna get this done regardless. If this guy doesn't want to do it, you have to walk into a meeting with enough confidence. These people are putting their jobs on the line, and you have to really understand that when you're walking into a meeting, their job's on the line. So if they take a risk on you, they might be fired.
Tell me if you think this is accurate. Sometimes it feels like the industry is trying to find ways not to hire you and use you, as opposed to find ways to hire you. So sometimes you have to. Yeah,
absolutely. Because it's like, okay, they want to literally like mark off everything that's a possibility before they say yes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it's just not a risk-taking industry. And that's kind of what set the industry to a plummet right now, because it used to be all about risk-taking, artist development, bringing up, we don't know, we found this guy on the street, but his voice is amazing. Let's try and put him with this group. Let's put him over here. Let's create this. It used to be that, but now it's kind of like, it's all the A&Rs are kind of, not all of them, but most of them are kind of like scared to do anything right now. But like, yeah, I mean, it is kind of like that. They're kind of trying to X you out before you even get the opportunity. So that's another thing that people need to know. They need to know when they're walking in that people are not like open arms here. It's like when you get that opportunity, you got to go in there and make sure that your prep game's on point, that your package is so ridiculous that when you walk in, when I walk in to whoever it is. If I'm coming to Karen Kwok or somebody is my homegirl, or I'm coming to
I love Karen.
or I'm coming to Craig Kalman, or I'm coming to whoever it is, I'm walking in and I'm like, look, first of all, before I even get there, I'm like, I got the craziest stuff you ever heard. Because I'm not even gonna come until I got the craziest stuff you ever heard. And though all of it might not be that, they're at least going to find a couple of the craziest things they've ever heard.
But you like living in the future musically. You like risk taking. You like pushing. I hate the term pushing the envelope, but you take your influences and you move them over to like 2018, 2019 sometimes.
Yeah, which is a good investment.
And how did, I mean, seems like that would be a recipe for like difficulty within an industry that rewards you for doing something that happened 5 years ago.
Right. Wow. Yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, but at the end of the day, it's either you're going to be a innovator, or you're going to be right now, in the right now times. And a lot of people get caught in the right now sound, and then you never see them again. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It happens a lot, and then you see people go past that and continue to make records, like a lot of the Timberlands and different people. They still kind of keep going, even though they were in that sound, but they kept going and creating new sounds. And there's like different producers, and I consider myself one of those producers who literally doesn't really matter. I'm kind of already past whatever it was. I'm trying to create something new, because by the time they catch up, I'll be on to the next thing. And when that hits and it becomes that, I already have created a new situation. I can't even live in the now, because the now is like not exciting, because I was now back then. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of over there right now. So like now is kind of a little bit boring for me. You got to kind of be in the future, otherwise what are you
I understand
doing?
what you're saying. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
In my world, I do a different song every day, and to do what I did last week is just, it's hard to come in and do that.
Man, it's so hard. It's like, how do you do what you're doing? I'm not going to put the same beat on 20 of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and, try and give you something that you've never heard or they never heard. So,
Man, my job is to give them the haircut they want, but try to sneak in a little something new.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, let's get back to music where I love. One of the things I want to give you a compliment on is, among many things, is when I hear your productions, when I hear other people's productions, not everybody, but a lot of people I hear, it feels like they do an incredible job on the verse, the chorus.
Right.
But then right last minute they slap together an intro, slap together a bridge and an ending, because those are the non-sexy parts. But the guy that gave me my start, Paul Davis, used to say the intro is the most important part, because that's when you make sure they're going to start liking something.
Right.
And it feels to me, tell me if I'm wrong, you can tell me if I'm wrong, it feels to me like you put a lot of thought into your intros, bridges, and endings, which I
Absolutely.
like. You put a little art in the bridge, too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's business. You know what I'm saying? That's how I make the records, because if I'm sitting there and I'm making a record and I'm presenting something as in business, is why I say it's business, because when I'm walking into a meeting, like, I can't sit there and talk to somebody and not give them an intro or a first something that makes their eyes, because that joint is going to get cut short. Like, I need to keep your attention. So therefore, I'm going to give you something that's like, I'm going to put some ignorant sound or some ridiculous something in there to where it's like, ooh, like that feels crazy. Like, what is that? Or I might just start it off with a bass line, like a fine job. Or I might just have it on some just some craziness to where you're like, what is going on? And then when it hits, you're in it, to where it's like you're in a movie. It's like the opening scene. If the opening scene is crazy, you're running back like, damn, I don't even want to go get popcorn right now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same concept for anything that keeps your attention. You have to do that. And people that skip over that, I don't even know why they do that. But
okay, I got a trick question for you.
You got it.
If you can't answer it, I will.
Okay.
What's the difference between Mr. Youngblood and Mr. RoccStar?
I mean, shoot. I mean, there is a difference, honestly, because you have to know how to separate your business from your personal.
Leon Youngblood.
Yeah.
When do I get to meet that guy? Or do I already know that guy?
You know that guy.
Okay,
You know that guy. That guy's like the calm outside, like just sitting down. I'm never really that calm.
No, you're not.
But, I mean, it's like the guy who's like more, I don't know. There is a difference.
I know.
There is a difference. The freaking the J-Lo, the Chris, the Usher, you know what I'm saying? That guy is the straight rock star. That's when I come in. I'm coming in to literally do nothing but try and take over your eardrums. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's cool.
I'm not really here for no games. It's really nothing but it's go season, which is all I talk about. That's the only season I know. So that's all I'm on. Now, besides that, Leon is like, yo, where y'all want to go play basketball? Like, what y'all want to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I get some spare time. Y'all want to go to Jamaica real quick? Like, let's go chill out and, you know, post up when I'm with, you know, it's a different situation.
So Leon never gets laid, poor guy, right?
Oh, man, that guy.
Don't say anything, you'll get in trouble.
That is hilarious.
Okay. Have I forgotten anything? Is there anything you want to share with our audience?
I mean,
you've been amazing, man. Great interview.
Appreciate
Great
you,
interview.
man. Like, honestly, I just, you know, I want to give back anything I can because it's such a struggle as a producer, as a writer, as an artist to really get in the game. And like, honestly, like people get too big to really explain this process. Like they want to keep people out or something, but like if you really get those tools and use them correctly, you really can do whatever you need to do to get it done. And I mean, honestly, on a closing statement, I mean, like I really got to tell people that you really can do anything that you put your mind to, honestly, with a proper plan and the proper willpower and God. That's it. The three things I use, and I've used my whole life. I'm 25. You know, I've accomplished huge things. Been a part of movies that done $500 million. I mean, I've done, huge things between artists, producers, things that are impossible. Doing more, not 1, 2, 3, 4 records on the album, 5, 6 on pretty much every project that I touch, and it's literally nothing but being like confident. I mean, you know, honestly, and realizing what your blessings are and your strong points and taking that and saying, okay, you know what, I can get this accomplished. Because a lot of people are going to say you can't. Everybody's going to say you can't. And at the end of the day, you know if you can or not. And what is going to prove if you can or not is your plan. Plan it out, write the vision, make it plain. Take it from 0 to 60 real quick, like Drake said. And, you know, really just put it together and make it happen. I mean, you're the only person holding you back from whatever it is. And you can get it accomplished. I mean, even in exec, they can't really stop you from anything it is because you've got the masses now. You can go straight to the masses and let them tell the exec and they'll catch up. You know what I'm saying? And when they catch up, they got to cut a bigger check. So at the end of the day, you can. That's, I mean, I hate to be on my Obama, but yes, you can. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you doing that because I wish I had not as much as you got, but a little bit of what you got.
Man,
I just don't have the personality to project that. You know, I wish I did. But I'm a mixer, so I don't need to.
Yeah, but you're the greatest. What you
No, don't give me no compliment. Don't give me no compliment.
Oh, goodness. You're the greatest mixer of all time, so what the hell? You don't need nothing but you.
Fucking A, I am. It's about time you noticed that. Nah.
You the one, man. I took all my tricks from you.
Nah. Hey, man, so everybody wants to know before we go, who's the best smelling artist you've ever worked with?
Oh, my goodness, man. If I had to tell people that J-Lo smelled the best I've ever smelled in my life again, well, that is the truth still.
Well, Fergie wasn't bad the other day.
Fergie,
she smelled pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. You ain't lying. Fergie did come in. We was in here. She did kind of smell like something. Yeah, she did smell like something. I actually asked her what that was, and she told me.
Every once in a while.
Kind of was like, wow. Okay. Oh, well, my chain been off this whole time. You didn't tell me what it was.
I'm not a chain guy. I don't understand chains.
You don't know what the hell's going on.
I mean,
dang. Okay, but yeah, Fergie smells bomb too. Okay, J-Lo and Fergie.
Okay, man. Hey, listen. Thanks so much for doing this. I know you had some really cool things that one day we'll share with the audience and give you some congratulations for when the time's appropriate. Thanks for making time for us, and thanks for inspiring me and inspiring the audience. I'm gonna tell them goodbye real quick, okay?
Okay.
Guys, let me tie this up real quick for you. We're gonna head on out, but. RoccStar said so many cool things today. I want you to rewind this, especially if you're just starting out. Get that inspiration, get that bubble thing going, whatever the hell that is, and find a way to take and utilize some of the things he's been saying and adapt them through who you are. Now, he's a very unique person. He's got very unique things about his life and his environment and the experiences that he's had. But he found a way to use all those into his career. That's what's lacking with some of you guys. Some of you guys think that you can learn all these things. You have to experience these things and give time a little chance to work so that you have something to say with your music. It's not just going and sitting down at a computer and creating something. You got to have something to say. You got to get hurt a little bit. You got to get your ass kicked once in a while. All those things contribute to great art, and you can hear all those elements in his music. So once again, thanks to my buddy RoccStar, and we'll see you next week.